And then when we say stop, there will be a particular instruction कि क्या करना है, ठीक है? उस instruction को follow करना है. ये 6-7 बार समझ जाएंगे तो फिर गेम समझ में आ जाएगा. इतना भी complicated नहीं है, बच्चे का खेल है, ठीक है? So first move out of these chairs because otherwise there's no place to run. Yeah, you can move through the chairs also if you want. Maybe take out one row of chairs or something so you can go between the chairs. Yeah. Okay. Fire in the mountain. Fire in the mountain. Fire in the mountain. Fire in the mountain. Stop. Get into groups of 3. Groups of 3. कोई छूटना नहीं चाहिए. कोई छूटना नहीं चाहिए. 3. Okay, just introduce yourself to each other in the group. Just make sure you know each other. And you have to find one thing that is common between the 3 of you. One thing that is common between the 3 of you, which is not the same as any other group. मिल गया? One common thing क्या है? तीनों चश्मिश है वहाँ पे. और कोई ग्रुप है जहाँ पे तीनों चश्मिश है? अरे यहाँ पे भी है. ठीक है. और कोई कॉमन चीज? हाँ जी. ब्लैक कलर बेल्ट तीनों के. 3 लेडीज. हाँ सही बात है. वेरी गुड. ओके, फायर इन द माउंटेन. Fire in the mountain! Fire in the mountain! Fire in the mountain! Groups of 4! Okay, please introduce yourselves. Introduce yourselves and take out your phone and show your colleagues any photograph of your children, family, whatever, anyone who's dear to you, mother, whatever, and find one common thing amongst your family. Yeah. So show photograph of anyone in your family, each one, anyone in your extended family, and find one thing common within your family. Okay, did anybody, any group found something common? Yes? What was it? Sorry, 2 children. Wow, okay, that entire group has 2 children each. Okay, Hanji? Okay, और कोई? Commonality in our family. हाँ, Devika. All of you are nuclear families. Okay, one more common. Okay. Okay, fire in the mountain. 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 Groups of 5, but there has to be diversity. Has to be one lady at least in every group. Introduce yourself and one sentence about your professional background. One sentence about your professional background each, and you have to find one thing common in your professional background. And don't tell me you work in public health. Okay. Did you find one common professional thing? Something common in the group? Yes? Group at the back. 17 years of experience. Wow, that's really unusual.
We are 100 years together.
100 years together. Okay. Yes, that group in the back there. We all work for people. All right, good one. Yes, Tanmay? Oh wow, gender is the core of the work. Fantastic. Total 120 years of experience. We all need money. Okay. Great. Fire in the mountain. 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 Okay, get into groups based on the month of your birthday. February altogether? Okay. March? Wow. April? Oh. May? Wow. June? Whoa. अभी तक एक भी गलती नहीं हुई. July? My God. August? September? October? I don't believe this. November? बच गए. चलो चलो नवंबर साथ में आ जाओ. December? Only one error. चलो. Fantastic. Now see if there's anyone with a common birthday within your group. First August. Any other common birthday? 5th February. Okay, happy birthday. 14 November. Okay, fire in the mountain. 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 Stop and find people from the same state from which you are. Let's see. From the south we start. Kerala. You have to say hello in your own mother tongue. Each group. Okay, Tamil Nadu. Sing alone. Okay, Andhra. Okay, big loud one for Andhra, please. Okay, good Andhra group. Andhra के बाद कर्नाटका. दो रीजन. Okay, Maharashtra. Okay, Maharashtra. फिर गुजरात. अरे इतने सारे गुजराती आ गए. Migrants out of Gujarat. Okay, MP. Okay, 3 MP के. UP. अरे वाह, यूपी इतनी छोटी कहां से बन गई? ओके, वेस्ट बंगाल. और बाप रे, बंगाली आज जगह आ जाते हैं. छत्तीसगढ़. हाँ, झारखंड. जोहार. बिहार। उड़ीसा। अरे असम। उत्तराखंड। हरियाणा। पंजाब। हिमाचल। जम्मू एंड कश्मीर। सिक्किम। मणिपुर। मेघालय। त्रिपुरा। गोवा। Okay, great. Thank you very much. I just thought we'll get to know where we are from and then set it up. Thank you. तो पिरामिड फाउंडेशन में ये इसका हमेशा सब लोग मजाक उड़ाते हैं, बट आवर फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन इज ऑलवेज हाउ आर यू फीलिंग? Anyone wants to share how you're feeling at the moment? Just one word. Wonderful. Wonderful. Okay. Rephrased. Okay. Charged up, okay? Refreshed, charged up, happy, awesome, okay? Overwhelmed, connected, energized, joyful, engaged, amalgamated. Great, we've got, thank you everybody for coming. And we jointly, I'll just introduce 5-6 people who together designed these 3 days. Manmohan, if you just want to stand up, Ishmi, Sunil, Sridhar, Rahul. Yeah. Just in case you don't know it, maybe everyone doesn't know everyone here. Sunil is the chief of party who joined the team recently. Sridhar is the main technical advisor. Rahul handles all the HR transformation in government. Manmohan handles the aspirational districts collaborative. Ishmeet handles digitalization work. So we just got together a small group to try and see how can we help. The objective of this 3 days, please. Yeah, the objective of this 3 days is just to help people get to know each other. Actually, जब मैं गाड़ी से आ रहा था एयरपोर्ट से ऐसे लग रहा था कि शादी में आ रहा हूँ किसी दोस्त की बेटे के लिए, जिसको मैं जानता नहीं हूँ और लेकिन उत्सुक हूँ जानने के लिए कि कौन से फैमिली में शादी हो रही है, किस टाइप के लोग हैं. तो वैसा ही है कुछ हद तक. So the idea is to get to know each other and the purpose is to connect at an emotional level. प्रोग्राम की डिस्कशंस तो होते रहेंगे, वो तो मतलब सुलझाते लोग 30 साल बिता चुके हैं, लेकिन एक दूसरे को अगर जानकारी थोड़ा ज़्यादा हुआ आगे के 2-3 दिन में तो उसका कुछ फ़ायदा हो सकता है. We need to build the base of trust in order that we are then able to navigate the next few months together. It's rather abrupt. When we were having a small meeting, Sunil, Sridhar, myself, Piramal, everyone, we were just saying this is like an arranged marriage, right? Because boy doesn't know the girl, girl doesn't know the boy. But we have to make the marriage work. So you have to ask questions. कि तुम गाती हो क्या? काम क्या है तुम्हारा? And then we'll get to know each other. क्या खाना आपको अच्छा लगता है? So that's the only way we'll get to know each other. So that's the idea here. So I thought I'd just quickly take you through just 5 slides on the Piramal Foundation itself, which is an introduction to today's exhibition. Tomorrow, similarly, there'll be an icebreaker and take you through what has happened in Bihar. 12 years of work in Bihar. Yeah. So we're calling this the Project Sangam because we don't have to explain that when you're sitting in Patna, why it's called Sangam. And the idea is that when the two organizations come together, when the two teams are coming together, sometimes you can end up having 1 + 1 = 1.5. Right? And you can feel constrained, you can feel restricted, rather than feeling empowered and actually feeling 1 + 1 = 3. Right? So the goal that we're setting as a common leadership team is, can we make it feel like 3? Maybe in about 3 months or 4 months from now, the same group will get back in the same room, and we will evaluate ourselves on whether we were able to create the 3 for ourselves and for our team and in service of Bharat. Right? That's what I would like to set as the goal for this. And that requires every one of us to work. Like, मतलब मैं कुछ बोलूँगा तो उससे कुछ होने वाला नहीं है, नीलिमा कुछ बोलेगी तो होगा नहीं, हर एक को कुछ काम करना पड़ेगा ताकि वो 1 + 1 = 3. So if you can just keep that at the back of your mind, are you contributing towards the 3 or are you contributing towards the 0.5? Experience tells us that these sort of things 80% of the time I believe don't work. But that way they tell you also that mortality cannot be reduced, Kala-Azar cannot be removed. But we don't believe in these things. We believe we can fight the odds. So we will try to fight the odds. So foundation itself, yes, Rashid, if you can just help. So this is our foundation mission statement. It says building Bharat through leadership development, digitization, decentralization and inclusion led by women and youth. I just want to give it a moment for you to absorb that, because every word here is very heavy weight. Building Bharat, as you can see, there are 4 things: leadership development, digitization, decentralization and inclusion, led by women and youth. Any emotion, thought, question that this evokes in you? पहला प्रश्न क्या आता है, पहली भावना क्या आती है? पीएफ वालों, हाँ,
डिसेंट्रलाइज्ड रहेंगे,
हाँ,
दूर रहेंगे,
हाँ, पूरा माइक दे दीजिए। डिसेंट्रलाइज रहेंगे तो
डिसेंट्रलाइज्ड रहेंगे, दूर दूर रहेंगे, एम्पावर्ड रहेंगे, इंक्लूडेड, दे ऑल विल बी इंक्लूसिव, कॉमन वर्ड या कॉमन मिशन.
So you see the
Last 2.
Yeah. Those words created some emotion for you. क्यों आपके लिए दोनों शब्द important है, decentralization और inclusion?
Sometimes you have to empower everybody to get common achievement, and simultaneously we should stay connected with people. Let's say, for example, our frontline, our front team members. Suppose I'm sitting at the state level, my team at the block level. Equal will be equal empowered, equal knowledgeable,
Okay.
but we'll stay connected.
So decentralized but inclusion. Yes. Okay. Anji Tanmay. Thank you, Prabhu.
This building Bharat is touching me a lot.
For me, क्यों?
This building Bharat ऐसे आज तक जितना दिन काम किए हैं ऐसे इस काम को कभी बोले नहीं. Try to say reducing mortality, try to say trying to keep the people at the center, try to mention empowering the last mile through the data, bringing it back to source. Building Bharat कभी ऐसे didn't express, so that is.
और उसकी वजह से कुछ भावनाएं आपने आती हैं?
बहुत कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव लगता है. सोच को एक जगह लाने के लिए एक अम्ब्रेला चाहिए होता है. तो you said that this is kind of the mission statement. So a mission statement is better to be kind of housed under a kind of
Comprehensive.
वो फील सर।
राहुल, थैंक यू। थैंक यू धर्मेंद्र।
I think I like that leadership development has been put in as the first word because when the debates happen about say decentralization versus centralization, there is always the fear that decentralization will be bad for inclusion itself because power structures at the local level will capture it. So decentralization and inclusion, if both is to happen, it requires some leadership. Similarly, digitization also. There is always the fear that it leads to more and more centralization because all data is available to the top people. So the leadership development is the balancing factor which may ensure inclusion within digitization and decentralization. Probably that's my.
Fantastic. So you connected आपके 4 points. You connected very beautifully. हाँ जी. Sorry, आपका नाम नहीं जानता नहीं अगर आप अपने आप से.
मेरा नाम नीरज है।
हाँ जी।
और ये डिसेंट्रलाइजेशन वर्ड बहुत ही इमोशनल है मेरे लिए क्योंकि ये एक जो जेपी मूवमेंट का जो नारा था ग्राम स्वराज और गांधी जी का भी था उसके पहले और जेपी ने जो स्टार्ट किया वो भले पूरा नहीं हो पाया लेकिन उस मूवमेंट के दौरान और उस पर एक बुक भी है जो एक डॉक्टर पे बेस्ड है लिखी है। सो वो उस किताब की जितनी बातें हैं कि एक गांव में ही आपके सारे सॉल्यूशंस होने चाहिए, वहीं का एक मंत्री होना चाहिए, वहीं का एक एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर होना चाहिए, वहीं के सारे लोग मिलके लोकल चैलेंजेस को ढूंढें और उनका सॉल्यूशन भी निकालें। सो डिसेंट्रलाइजेशन मेरे लिए बहुत ही इमोशनल है।
तो नीरज मैं आपसे प्रश्न पूछना चाह रहा हूँ, अगर हेल्थ के सारे इश्यूज सॉल्व हो गए लेकिन हम सेंट्रलाइज्ड हैं तो आप खुश होंगे?
नहीं। तो
क्यों नहीं खुश होंगे? हेल्थ के लिए तो हम सॉल्व कर रहे हैं, शिक्षा को ही हम सॉल्व कर रहे हैं। सेंट्रलाइजेशन डिसेंट्रलाइजेशन क्यों इम्पोर्टेंट है आपके लिए?
क्योंकि हर एक गांव की जरूरत अलग है, हर एक गांव का प्रॉब्लम अलग है। सो अगर हम जैसे अभी के एग्जांपल में ही लें कि कोई सेंट्रल से कोई स्कीम बन के आती है, कोई हेल्थ प्रोजेक्ट आता है और उसको हमारे एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर सेम फॉर्म में लागू करना चाहते हैं बिना समझे हुए कि क्या हमारे स्टेट में एप्लीकेबल है या नहीं, इसके क्या फायदे हैं क्या नुकसान है। सो जब तक हम उसको स्टेट लेवल पे, फिर उसको फर्दर डिस्ट्रिक्ट लेवल पे, फिर फर्दर विलेज लेवल पे, जब तक उसका हम लोग माइक्रोस्कोपिक लेवल पे प्रॉब्लम्स को नहीं समझ पाएंगे तब तक सॉल्यूशन जो होगा वो नहीं आ सकता।
So decentralization has a purpose in itself. It causes emotion for someone, inclusion causes, building Bharat causes. हाँ, पद्मा शायद आपने
So I was wondering this leadership development, digitization, decentralization, inclusion. Are these led by women and youth?
Yes.
That's fine. And I was also wondering why women and youth are mixed. Why can't led by women should be a separate entity or something?
Very good. So that may be a good question as we go around today. Why did that word catch your attention?
So, I mean, a lot has been spoken about women empowerment, gender and women empowerment and leadership, but I actually don't see majority of the women leading organizations or leading programs. I mean, the top level at least. So it's always been the second layer and third layer. So when will it happen? That's what I was thinking. I think the top layer should be women. Then we might see a different balance.
Absolutely. That's why it specifically says led by women. So Nilima who's sitting right next to you is the one who added this because she says not development of women but development by women. That changes the whole thing. Yeah. यहाँ पे किसी ने हाथ ऊपर रखा है, यहाँ पे माइक दे देंगे है आपके पास? अच्छा सॉरी मैंने देखा नहीं। हाँ जी, अपना परिचय करा दीजिए।
मेरा नाम कोमल है।
हाँ जी।
और मुझे जो सबसे ज़्यादा कनेक्ट हो पाया वो लेड बाय वुमेन एंड यूथ, स्पेशली इन कॉन्टेक्स्ट विद बिहार। हम जब डेवलपमेंट की बात करते हैं एंड देन 50% की पॉपुलेशन इज नॉट पार्ट ऑफ दैट डेवलपमेंट or not the capacity of that genre is not there. जब उसको डेवलप करेंगे तो डेवलपमेंट के इंडिकेटर्स चाहे वो हेल्थ के हो या सोशल हो अपने आप करेंगे। एंड यूथ के लिए स्पेशली बिहार के लिए फील्ड में काम करने पर जहाँ पे माइग्रेशन वाली चीज़ें देखने को मिलती हैं, माइग्रेशन यहाँ पे काफ़ी ज़्यादा है, तो उनके जो प्रॉब्लम्स हैं अगर उनका लोकल सोल्यूशन हो, स्पेशली क्योंकि इकोनॉमी ही ज़्यादा इनकम जनरेशन प्रायोरिटी है, बट अगर उनको इस लेवल पे ले आए कि वो खुद की लाइफ को लीड करने के लिए लोकल लेवल पे उनके पास सोल्यूशन हो, तो वो बिल्डिंग भारत को बहुत ज़्यादा कंट्रीब्यूट करेगा।
वेरी नाइस। हाँ जी, परिचय करा लीजिएगा। हाँ, थोड़ा पास में रखना पड़ेगा सर। हाँ, आ रहा है।
मेरे लिए जो एक शब्द इनफैक्ट बहुत जोड़ पाता हूँ तो, और मेरे ख्याल से सबसे मतलब स्ट्राइकिंग जो है युवा है, युवा भारत है, क्योंकि डेफिनेटली महिला भी है। जब हम भारत को देखते हैं तो युवाओं का देश है, और अगर युवाओं की परिस्थिति को हम देखते हैं पूरे भारतवर्ष में, इंक्लूडिंग ट्राइबल हो या मोस्ट वल्नरेबल हो, वहाँ की स्थिति और बहुत खराब है, चाहे स्टार्टिंग फ्रॉम बेरोजगारी हो या उनकी जानकारी हो, और लीडरशिप की तो बात ही नहीं है। लीडरशिप का मौका कई सारी चीज़ें, चाहे वो स्टार्टिंग फ्रॉम घर से हो, शिक्षा से, तो मेरे ख्याल से ये सारी चीज़ें बहुत लेट करता है। और विमेन की परिस्थिति और लीडरशिप की तो बात बहुत दुर्लक्षित है मेरे ख्याल से। हम लोग शुरू किए हैं, आई डोंट नो, वी ऑल हैव टू वर्क क्लोजली ऑन दैट। सो these 3 2 words are very
नाइस। थैंक यू सर। हाँ जी, और कोई? हाँ जी।
Yeah. So my name is Sani. So basically all the points have been covered, but yeah, what triggered me most was just after inclusion, we are writing led by women and youth. So if we look at the current day society, it's like I think these two sections, women and youth, you do not consider them as the typical leadership figure. Maybe because women are so marginalized, especially when we talk about the rural sections where they do not have the right even to basically filling up a form. Like most of the time they are not even asked for their consent when even forms are filled out. So when we are talking about those women कि वो आगे बढ़ेगी, or when we are talking about the youth, and we have fellowship programs for that matter, like you are aligning them कि आप कैसे आगे बढ़ सकते हो, कल के नेता, not even नेता, they are making you सेवा, yeah, with the seva bhav. So that was very beautiful, which struck me throughout this entire slide.
Thank you. Thank you.
मेरा नाम सुनील है।
हाँ जी।
मुझे लीडरशिप डेवलपमेंट को प्रभावित करता है। हमारा बिहार का एक्सपीरियंस ऐसा रहा है कि स्पेशली हेल्थ डिपार्टमेंट या ICDS के साथ कि अगर ब्यूरोक्रेट अच्छा आ गया, अच्छा लीडर मिल गया ब्यूरोक्रेट के रूप में, तो चीज़ें मूव करने लगती, अदरवाइज नहीं। तो अगर वो नीचे के लेवल पे सिविल सर्जन या उसके नीचे और नीचे के लेवल पे अगर लीडर्स अच्छे डेवलप कर पाते हैं तो डिस्ट्रिक्ट मजिस्ट्रेट कोई भी आए या जाए डजंट मैटर। तो लीडरशिप डेवलपमेंट बाकी सारे फैक्टर्स के साथ मुझे ज़्यादा
डिसेंट्रलाइज करके लीडरशिप बनाओ ताकि कुछ भी चले। वी नॉट वेटिंग फॉर वन सुपरमैन IAS ऑफिसर टू चेंज एनीथिंग।
इसमें फिर डिजिटाइजेशन भी हो जाएगा, इंक्लूजन भी हो जाएगा, और जो हम बिल्डिंग भारत की बात करते हैं।
मानसून सर,
या एक्चुअली एक ही वर्ड मुझे जो ज़्यादा इंटरेस्टिंग लगता है वो भारत, और मुझे ये शैडो दिखता है। उसके नीचे सारी चीज़ें हमने शैडो लिखी है, जितने भी लीडरशिप डेवलपमेंट, डिजिटलाइजेशन एंड इंक्लूजन, लीड बाय वुमेन। अगर कल्चर वाइज हम देखें, ट्राइबल कल्चर में ट्रेडिंग जो पर्सपेक्टिव होता है वो लीड वुमेन से होता है। मैं बहुत दिनों तक काम किया था इंटीरियर का, मालकानगिरी उड़ीसा का, जो अभी कोरापुट में, तो उस समय मैंने भी देखता था कि उनका जो फॉरेस्ट जो भी प्रोडक्ट्स होते थे वो जो भी बेचने जाता था मार्केट में फीमेल, बट डिफरेंस इतना है कि वो डिसीजन नहीं ले पाती। तो डिजिटलाइजेशन और इंक्लूजन आप जब बात करते हैं तो ये सारी चीज़ें उसमें कवर करते हैं। और यूथ का जब मैं देखता हूँ, शायद दुनिया का सबसे बड़ा यूथ अभी हमारे पास ही है, और अगर फ्यूचर के बारे में बात करते हैं तो यूथ को हम कभी उसको छोड़ नहीं सकते। अगर फ्यूचर के बारे में और उसको अगर स्ट्रेंथ देना, स्किल देना, वो डिजिटलाइजेशन के थ्रू हो सकता है, क्योंकि AI का जमाना है जहाँ पर सब कुछ AI से होना है। तो उस जगह पे अगर हम डिजिटलाइजेशन की बात ही नहीं करेंगे तो शायद हमारा यूथ पीछे रह जाएगा, और यूथ पीछे रहेगा मतलब भारत कभी बन नहीं पाएगा।
So yes, there are a few more comments this side पे। हाँ, maybe we'll collect a couple of comments and then move forward.
Thank you, Aditya.
प्रशांत, जब इस स्लाइड को मैं देख रहा हूँ तो आई एम थिंकिंग व्हाट इज भारत, जो भारत हम लोग कह रहे हैं. तो फॉर मी भारत, देयर आर टू वर्ड्स, इंडिया एंड भारत. और ये बहुत बड़ा डिबेट हो चुका है इस कंट्री में, व्हाट इज इंडिया, व्हाट इज भारत. तो बेसिकली भारत मीन्स दोज एरिया, दोज पीपल who did not get much more opportunity in this entire development of the country. So all people are included in this Bharat. And basically whenever we are analyzing the women and youth, they are the most deprived society of this country. They did not get much more opportunity. They are marginalized. They don't have even the rights to decide. Education systems नहीं है, empowerment के कोई systems नहीं है. So how these can become the leader so that they can build their own society locally and so that the empowerment of the Bharat can be done. So in this way I am looking from the bottom to top at bottom.
Interesting.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anji.
Good morning, I'm Sanjeev.
Yes, Sanjeev.
So the question is like, what is the most important word for anybody in this life? For me, I think India, that is Bharat, what we see since childhood, and we have the place in the beginning. So I'm giving a different perspective. Whatever has to happen, first thing is the thought that comes to our mind. If you see the leaders or like the scientists, the first thing that comes in everybody's mind is the thought. Then the planning and the actions follow. So in this slide, I think India is something that brings a thought in everybody's mind, which connects everything, which is missing most of the time in whatever we do on a day-on-day basis. So this thought of you put it differently, not as an India but as a Bharat. So that brings a lot of emotional connect and a thought that something big has to happen, and that thought will ignite for everything that follows. So I think that brings.
Fantastic. So let me just quickly. Sorry. Go ahead.
Actually, मैं इसको दो ही तीन वर्डों में देखता हूँ. भारत में पहले से एक विविधता में एकता है. विविधता में एकता और आधुनिक भारत के निर्माण में इस विविधता को कैसे मैं यूज कर सकूं, ये सबसे ज्यादा स्ट्राइकिंग मुझे यहाँ पर में लग रहा है. और जब मैं भारत की बात करूँ तो उसी तरह भारत के सभी राज्य में अपनी विविधताएं और सभी जिलों में उस चीज को हमें लेकर के आना पड़ेगा. आधुनिक भारत के निर्माण में डिजिटाइजेशन की मैं बात कर रहा हूँ तो शायद हमें आधुनिक भारत की बात करनी पड़ेगी, कैसे हम आगे बढ़ सकते.
तो भारत, बहुत सारे शब्द हैं यहाँ पे जो हमें समझने की जरूरत है. मतलब बहुत we have to dig and we have to find out whether we have a common definition of those words, because भारत आपके मन में कुछ है, आपके मन में कुछ है. This is purposely kept as भारत. अभी आप सुन लो, कौन बोल सकता है कि मेरा भारत क्या है? आपका भारत है, आप नागरिक हैं, ये तो हम फ्री कंट्री हैं. इस तरीके से 75-80 years ago someone thought something was Bharat, 200 years ago someone something was Bharat. Today, what do you believe is Bharat? And is your action helping to contribute to your vision of Bharat? Right, whatever it is. And that's very critical, because you don't want anyone to capture and say this is one definition of Bharat. This is your definition of Bharat, right? You are working for your definition of Bharat. You are working for your motherland, whatever you believe, whatever values you believe. So the way we've organized it is that, so each of these four, we then have something called a big bet. We used to previously be organized as education, health and water, and gender work. That's how we used to be organized before, about 3.5 years ago. And then we did a massive exercise internally, saying how do we pick up certain intractable problems which are going to take 10, 15, 20 years to solve. They can't be solved through 3-year project periods. Because you see, मतलब decentralization कहाँ 3 साल में क्या होने वाला है, digitalization 3 साल में क्या होने वाला है, leadership development 3 साल में उस आदमी को समझ में चला जाएगा. Inclusion, मतलब कितना रास्ता है inclusion के लिए, right? And led by women and youth. इतनी patriarchal society, feudal society हमारी है, तो उसको निकालने में बहुत टाइम लगेगा. तो ऐसे क्या 10-15 साल वाले एजेंडा क्या हैं जो हमें खुद प्रोत्साहित करते हैं, और उस ढांचे के अंदर आपको जो भी घुसाना है आप घुस सकते हो, घुसा सकते हो, राइट? क्योंकि ये ओवरऑल एक फ्रेमवर्क टाइप का है. So the 4 big bets that you will get exposed to today. So Piramal School of Leadership just focuses on leadership development. You'll go in and you'll see the different schools. There's a school of leadership and systems change, which focus on how do you change the structures within government so that it's not seniority based, but merit based people rise to the top. Imagine if in your organization it was seniority based rising. Will your organization survive? It has to be competence based, right? Competence, initiative, that's what we should reward. But सरकार के अंदर तो वो है नहीं, क्योंकि assessment का तरीका नहीं है. अभी तक हमारे जो systems हैं वो feudal systems हैं. तो उसको निकाल के नए systems कैसे डालते हैं, which actually help the right employees rise to the top. Right, so we've done that in many states. You've seen 13,500 positions across 5 states. We've changed it to merit-based selections rather than seniority-based selections, right, which we think is very, very important. And there are many other things. How do you manage performance inside government? Right, अभी का performance, आपका performance management system देख लीजिए अपनी संस्था में, अपनी पिछली संस्था में, कोई भी संस्था में, और फिर सरकार के अंदर performance management कैसे चलती है, coaching कैसे चलती है. ये सब अगर नहीं चलेगी तो सरकार वाले काम कैसे करेंगे? That's what this scheme focuses on. Make sure there's leadership, organization development, incentives, what Karthik here calls hire to retire policies, promotions, all that sort of stuff. And then leadership development in education, in health, in justice. Today a poor person, you know about education and health, but what happens when you go to a court of law, when you go to a police station, when you go to a jail? Even, forget a poor person, even a rich person is treated as if you're a criminal before you go in, because it's still a feudal colonial system. It's not, I mean, I am a citizen, you have to treat me fairly, I am paying your wage, right? So, but that's not how it's treated. So this is the school of leadership. Digital Bharat, I think some of you have experienced, because many of you might have interacted with us. These 6 slides are on digital. We know that digital is critical, lack of information. Information asymmetry between different layers causes so much coordination problems. So how do you just reduce information asymmetry? There is intelligence in this room. That intelligence should be available to the last mile worker in order to make her service successful. This is not digitization for control. This is digitization for empowerment of the last mile. It's extremely different, because a lot of digitization initiatives within government are perceived and driven by IS officers to control. Our purpose is that how do you drive digitization for the last mile to feel empowered? And have the intelligence of the entire country at her service so that she can then serve, right? Whether it's in education or health or water or anything. So that is digitization. Then you move into decentralization. Where is that? That is, ADC is there. This, as you know, the Prime Minister started an aspirational district program. We started with a few districts, went to 25, and now in all 112 districts working over there. The main job of the aspirational districts program is to attempt to move the power down to the panchayat. As you know, in the 80s, we passed an act saying panchayat honi chahiye, and that's central government mein power hai, state government mein power hai, right? But uske baad district mein PM, CM, DM aa jata hai, sarpanch nahi aata hai vocabulary mein. So, and that transition, how do we support to make it for the decentralization? हम सब बोलते हैं ग्राम स्वराज, लेकिन सबके मन में अभी तक ग्राम स्वराज है. लेकिन actual action and programming to make that happen, how do we enable for that? So that's what ADC is attempting across education, health, water. How do you slowly nudge it so that there is power with the sarpanch to serve her own people? That's the third one. Inclusion is in that part. So entire tribal communities constitute 10% of India, 118 million people. Percentage of faculty who are tribal people in Indian universities, anybody knows? 0.3%. 9% of the population, 0.3% of the percentage of tribal people who are going, I mean, any metric you take, TB, college going, any metric you take, tribal people are way behind non-tribal. So our point was, how do you specifically target for tribal populations deeply? And everyone will tell you, it's how complicated it is, 700 tribes and alag languages and this thing. If you care, I mean, if you care about Bharat, how can you not care about this? So there's no choice at all. So we have a whole initiative on that. So if you put those 4 together, and then finally you get this 5th part, the Gandhi Fellows and the Karuna Fellows. Some of you might have seen Gandhi Fellows on the field when you roam around. This is not just a training program. This we truly believe in. So you wonder why, like many people say, why don't you train the fellow? Why don't you train the fellow? And the point is this, when you overtrain the fellow will not have the initiative to innovate, which you cannot imagine. So how much is the power between the older person and young people is very important, because you're saying led by women and youth. I actually struggle with anything which is not led by, otherwise men are including women and old people are including young people. That means you still come within the dhacha of your old person, old male. So, which is a very dangerous dhacha which caused this problem in the first place. So, there you will get to understand the fellowship, Karuna Fellowship and Gandhi Fellowship. We have over 1200 Gandhi Fellows at any time, and we have about 300 Karuna Fellows, but it's going to go to about 1000. So how do you get women to take charge in their own communities, not just at senior leadership position, but गांव level में महिला to take charge and say ये होना चाहिए, ये नहीं होना चाहिए. Self-help group movement has been beautiful, but can you start a greater movement for more people? So that's the overall. So you get an idea of the exhibition as a whole, right? Now you get to deep dive into each of these to know that. I mean, 1 hour to discuss, not even 1 hour actually, 25 minutes to discuss the mission of the organization is very disrespectful. But I thought I'll at least give you a little bit of a background based on which you can then do the detailed exhibition. This is one side of PF, and I think the other side is the values. And that's why we've invited our chairman, Mr. Ajay Piramal, to speak at 10 o'clock, in 5 minutes. And I think we summarize our culture. If you know, the Piramal group itself has knowledge, action and care and impact as its values. And within care, humility, and this is the group as a whole, this is not the foundation, right? Humility and trusteeship are two very critical, are the two key portions of care. So humility, I mean, literally I was telling Hari from BMGF the other day, chairman did a humility audit of the top 10 people in the organization and came back and gave me individual scores. He met each person for half an hour one-on-one because for him, his belief is humility is the most important. जैसे ही घमंड आ जाती है, जैसे ही एरोगेंस आ जाती है, तो कुछ ना कुछ गलत होने वाले हैं दुनिया में. तो so humility for him is extremely important. And two, trusteeship. इससे जो भी क्षमताएं हमारे पास हैं, जो भी पैसे हमारे पास हैं, जो भी वक्त हमारे पास है, वो हमारा नहीं है, वो दूसरों की सेवा में है. And this is the business's values, it's not the foundation's values. And if you know him, you'll realize he runs the business like this, right? So the choice in the business as well are like this. So overall, we summarize this as Seva Ki Bhavna. He'll describe it much more beautifully than I will. Rashid, आप बोल देंगे on it. So he describes it as Seva Ki Bhavna. And that's the only thing he measures in the staff. He says, आप outcomes आप लेके आइए, वो दूसरे लोग भी लेके आ सकते हैं. बट किस भावना के साथ आप उस आउटकम्स को लेके आते हैं, वो मेरे लिए बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. कि जैसे ही घमंड आ जाती है, जैसे आपको लगता है कि आप ही की वजह से दुनिया चलती है, आप ही की वजह से वो हॉस्पिटल बदली, आप ही की वजह से वो स्कूल बदली, तो फिर कुछ दुरुपयोग भी होने वाला है आपकी घमंड की वजह से भारत को. So that humility, trusteeship and seva is very critical. Unfortunately, he couldn't be here because he's leaving for London and the timing was wrong. Otherwise, he was looking forward to come because when you meet him, it will be valuable. Because ultimately the values comes in a corporate foundation from the values of the family. So I thought it would be useful for all of us to meet him. Yeah, okay. Okay, so when we split up after the chairman's speech, the idea is that there are some groups. If you want to just put up the groups, I think Sridhar, Sunil and Rahul have helped just form 5 mixed groups. And the way we do it is like, think of it like an expo, right? When you go to Pragati Maidan and go to an expo, normally you can do presentations. Our experience of presentations is not useful because people switch off and start with WhatsApp. And that's, I would do the same thing. So instead, if you think of it much more like a human library, okay? So the people who are sitting there have stories, right? They've lived their lives, they've dedicated their lives to solving particular issues. And instead of reading a book, can you read Saurabh Johri and ask him questions and learn from him, just like you read from a book. And so there will be about 5 people sitting in each of the sections of the library. Yeah, and so the idea would be if you can just go, do not go as a large group. So for example, there will be 10-12 of you allocated in each group. Yeah, but you don't have to go in as a large group. आपको अगर इसमें तो 1 घंटा मिलता है आपको एक बिग बेट समझने के लिए, तो उसमें अगर आपको सिर्फ पहले जो लिखा है वो पढ़ना है तो आप पढ़ लीजिए. अगर आपको पहले जाके एक ही जन के साथ पूरा 1 घंटा बिताना है तो आप कर लीजिए. अगर आपको 2-3 जन के साथ 10-10 मिनट बिताना है आप कर लीजिए, अगर आपको प्रश्न नहीं पूछना है, किसी और के पीछे पीछे जाना है तो उसके पीछे चलिएगा। जो जिस तरीके से आपको सीखना अच्छा लगता है उस तरीके से आप सीखिएगा। एंड द क्वेश्चन एट द एंड ऑफ द 5 आवर्स, अगर आप सोचेंगे तो 5 घंटे लग जाएंगे ऐसे, तो 11 से 1-2 घंटे बिताएंगे, 2 बिग बेट देखेंगे, फिर 1 से 2 हम लंच खाएंगे, फिर 2 से 4 और 2 बिग बेट आप देखेंगे, और फिर 4:15 क्योंकि चाय ब्रेक लेंगे, 4:15 से 5:15 हम देखेंगे फाइनल 5th बिग बेट। उसके बाद हम जब बैठेंगे और बातचीत करेंगे छोटे छोटे ग्रुप्स में, 2 प्रश्न आपके पास हैं डीब्रीफ करने के लिए। एक प्रश्न ये है कि मैंने क्या सीखा जो मेरे प्रोफेशनल डेवलपमेंट के लिए, मेरे इम्पैक्ट भारत बनाने के लिए मुझे फायदा है। हम इस दृष्टिकोण से नहीं जा रहे हैं कि वहां पे उसको मैं क्या सिखा सकता हूं, हम इस दृष्टिकोण से नहीं जा रहे हैं वहां पे उसको बताने के लिए कि वो जो गलत कर रहा है वो गलत है। मैं आज के रूल्स और कल के रूल्स, दोनों के रूल्स बता रहा हूं। हम जा रहे हैं सीखने के लिए, देखने के लिए कि लोगों की क्या राय है। इसका ये मतलब नहीं कि हमें वाद विवाद नहीं करनी चाहिए, राइट? बट जिस माहौल में हम वो करते हैं ताकि आप क्यूरियस हो कि मैं क्या सीख सकता हूं इससे, मैं क्या सीख सकती हूं इससे। और दूसरा जो प्रश्न है ये है कि एक जन कौन है जिसके साथ मेरा इमोशनल कनेक्शन हुआ पूरे दिन में। So what is one thing that I learned and who is one person I connected with? These are the 2 questions. We come back from 5:15 to 6:15 and just spend in a small group together. Yeah. So that's the big bets, that's the Seva Bhav is the culture, and that's the plan for the day. Questions, thoughts? Trying to read the notes. क्या मानने चाहते हैं? हाँ? Chairman is come. Can you just project Chairman, please? Morning, sir. Can you hear us? आप म्यूट से अपने आप को निकाल लीजिए। हाँ।
Yeah.
We can hear you, sir. Good morning.
Yeah. Good morning.
आप पब्लिक को देख पा रहे हैं सर?
हाँ, देख रहे हैं, सब लोग देख रहे हैं। या
हमारे 100 जन हैं यहाँ सर, तो 50 जो पुरानी टीम की है, 50 जो नई टीम की है। कल शाम को हम सब साथ में मिले थे डिनर खाने के लिए। आज सुबह थोड़ा पिरामल फाउंडेशन के मिशन के बारे में हमने बातचीत की थी, और फिर हम अभी हमने 2 मिनट सेवा भाव के बारे में बात की, और फिर बोले कि बाकी क्या आप ही बताएंगे।
So, dear friends, welcome to the Piramal Foundation. कुछ ही दिन पहले हरी मैनन और आदित्य ने मुझे ये प्रपोजल दिया कि कैसे काम हमारा फाउंडेशन का काम बढ़ सके बिहार में। मैंने आदित्य से आपकी और आपकी टीम के बारे में बहुत कुछ सुना है, और it's a tremendous work that you are doing for so many years, for the last 13 years, in the field of health in Bihar. Recently, I became a grandfather again. So I know how important it is to have institutional deliveries and pre and post natal care. The Piramal Group has been in the pharma industry for years. My wife is a public health specialist, so I do know how debilitating diseases such as Kala Azar and LFR to the body, mind of the people who suffer. I also know how good health care and good medicines can change the world. I would like to congratulate each one of you for your efforts to manage the unprecedented acute encephalitis syndrome in 2019 and the COVID outbreak in 2020. Each one of you has made great effort of Kala Azar, and the cases have come down from 25,000 in 2010 to 1,300 in 2020, a reduction of over 90% in a decade. I'm sure this will soon be a thing of the past in Bihar. I have no doubt in my mind that we will soon be rid of lymphatic filariasis, too, with your persistence and passion. Thanks to the innovations that you have made in family health, labor room facilities have improved significantly in Bihar, and with that, the mortality rates of mothers and children have reduced. You have worked tirelessly to enhance the efficiency of the public health system by focusing on core processes and capacity building. We also been instrumental in improving the availability of drugs and essential commodities at public health centers. I would like to just appreciate all the good work that you have done. Since you all come from Bihar, which is the land of the Ganga, I want to give you the example of the Ganga. When you have seen that when the Ganga flows into the ocean in the Bay of Bengal, the Ganga, as great as the river it is, when it goes into the ocean, it just merges into the ocean, and nothing of the Ganga is there. It's only the ocean that remains. Or the salinity of the ocean does not reduce by 1% as well. It remains the same. When two organizations come together, it is not like the Ganga flowing into the Bay of Bengal, but it is the Ganga when it meets the Jamuna at Prayagraj. It is the holy Sangam of the two rivers. And what emerges as the resultant river is one which takes the advantages, which takes the strengths of both the Ganga and the Yamuna. So when we are now coming together today, I look at it as a merger of two organizations, both bringing their own strength and both becoming a better and a bigger organization. I thought I will now spend a little bit of time at how this concept of the merging of the rivers has also helped us in all our businesses till now. But before that, let me talk to you a little bit about what the Piramal Group's purpose is. Our purpose is doing well and doing good and making a positive difference around us by serving people based on our values. I want to break up each one of this. Doing well and doing good. Whether it is in our business or whether it is in our foundation, it is important that we do well. Because unless we do well, we will not be able to make the most out of all the resources that are there. So even when we are doing good, it is important that not only do we do well, do we do good, but whatever resources are, we use them to the maximum. And that is why in our activities, we will be measuring the impact that each one of us is doing. Because at the end of the day, we have to make a difference. And then it comes to the next line of our purpose of making a positive difference to the world around us. What is the reason that we have put a positive difference to the world around us? You think about it, we are blessed to be born as a human being. It is said that millions of lives you live, you are born and reborn, and that's when you get a human life. That is the first blessing that we have. Even more important is that we are all privileged. You have been working in the most challenging environment, and you know how people are suffering, how underprivileged they are. But we are all privileged. What is our privilege? We have been privileged to be born in the families that we've been come to. We've been privileged to have the values that our family has. We are privileged to have our education and privileged to have a job. And therefore, it is an obligation from each of us to make a contribution for this privilege. We could have as well be born with a kala azar or anything else, or we may be suffering on the street. But because we are there, we have to acknowledge that. It is not because of anything that we have done. We've just been born in this. We can learn from nature, just as we learn from the Ganga and the Jamuna Sangam. We can learn from nature. Everything today that nature gives us is free. We are privileged to be born, and look at the trees. They give you fruits without your doing anything. Look at the air we breathe in. We all have gone through COVID, and we've seen that even the richest people with millions of rupees were sometimes gasping for oxygen. And we sometimes don't even remember or don't appreciate that you are breathing this air every second of your life. And if you did not have oxygen for a few minutes, you know what you have been. And therefore, it is our obligation to give back to what we have got privileged. The third part of our purpose, doing well, doing good, one. Second, making a positive difference. And the third is serving others. Why do we serve others is important. Service, again, as I said, we are privileged. We are, in our group, we believe that our values talk about trusteeship. We are trustees of the wealth that has been given to us, or we are trustees of whatever resources have been given to us. And what does that mean? In the Gita, the Lord tells us that all of us, the wealth that has been given to us, the resources that have been given to us, have been given by the Lord Himself. And we are trustees. And what is the role of a trustee? The role of a trustee is to see that the beneficiaries, which is society, which is in business, shareholders, consumers, whether it is your people that work with you, that you do what is the best for them. And that is why we have to do service. But I heard Aditya talking about Seva Bhav and what you are going to learn about Seva Bhav. And this to us is one of the most important foundations of what we are doing. It is Seva Bhav. There is a difference between Seva and Seva Bhav. Seva is service. But Seva Bhav is service with compassion. Seva is service with karuna. Seva is service which is selfless. And therefore, rather than seeing that we are giving, we are doing a favor to people, we do it out of love. The best example of Seva Bhav is when you see a mother feeding her child. The mother, when she feeds her child, is not doing a service to the child. The mother, in fact, feels grateful and happy that she is being able to give so much of love and receive so much of love from the child. So that is what we have to look at. How can we convert Seva into Seva Bhav is the key thing that we have to all strive for. The way we look at service, there are four modes of service, if I can say. One is service which is a tamasic service, or service which is given to those people who really don't deserve it. So if you have a person who is a drug addict and you do something for him and just encourage him or her to have more drugs. That is not the right service. That is tamasik. The second form of service is what is rajasic service. That is, I am doing that service only because I want some recognition. I want people to say that what a great job you have done, or oh, you are helping us and we are so grateful, etc. The third type of service is the sattvic service, or service when you ask people, you do it because you want to do a bigger job. You are not looking it for them, for yourself, but you are looking it for the benefit of individuals. That is sattvic, which is also very good. But the best service is the divine service, when you are doing it because you feel that this is your role as a trustee, when you are giving something to the other individual as your trustee, and you're doing it selflessly and you're doing it with seva bhav. So that, I would say, is the concept, is the philosophy that we have in our foundation. When you meet our Gandhi fellows, who now this year we have recruited more than 500 of them, there's an alumni of more than 3,500 of them. When you meet our Karuna fellows, when you meet our team, I hope you will get this feeling of seva bhav, because that is the core of it. Finally, there is another important value that I want to talk to you about, is humility. You know, many of us feel that when we are doing something, we are, the person whom we are giving to or offering the service to is below us, or we are doing a great job. I would really urge you to look and feel that it is to learn from others, to be humble enough to recognize that each person has a strength. It's even more important that when both the organizations are coming together today, we understand that each one of us has strengths, and there is a lot to learn from each other, whether it is from all of you who are joining us today, whether it is from the other way around, people in the foundation. Let's have an open mind, and if we have humility, I think that we will do well in this. I want to also, as I end, I want to just thank our friends from the Gates Foundation, our valued partners who are here with us today. I am happy to share that Bill and his colleagues share our deep commitment to a healthy and happy Bharat. And I am grateful to him and his foundation for the support we have received in all our endeavors. I wish you the best, and once again welcome the new team who is joining us. I believe together we can further our purpose of doing well and doing good, and be a torchbearer in building Bharat. I want to end with a universal prayer, which is Sahanam Bhavatu, Sahanam Bhunaktu, Sahaviryam Karvavahe, Tejasvi Nam Adhitamastu Mavid Vishwavahe, which really means that's a prayer when we are all coming together, which is a prayer that may we be protected, may we be nourished, may our efforts together be successful, may we attain what we aspire for, and may we have put great effort in doing that, and may we not have conflict in this. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Any comments, questions people have? I can see big smiles, but I'm wondering what the smile is trying to hide. इसके पहले तो बहुत सारे प्रश्न थे। हाँ जी, सर।
नमस्कार सर, मेरा नाम सुनील बाबू है। सुनील बाबू, मैं यहाँ पे बिहार प्रोग्राम में काम करता हूँ पिछले 12 साल से। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद जो हम लोगों का टीम का एफर्ट्स को सभी को जिस तरीके से समझ पाए और वैल्यू किया गया, और यहाँ के एफर्ट्स को कंटिन्यू करने के लिए जो मौका प्रोवाइड किया जा रहा है उसके लिए आपको भी और हरी एंड केस फाउंडेशन के सभी टीम मेंबर्स को बहुत आभार है। और आगे बढ़ते हुए इस विजन को, जो इतना नेक विजन है और जिस तरीके का एम्फोसिस ऑन ह्यूमिलिटी एंड सेवा भाव एज डिस्टिंक्ट फ्रॉम सेवा एज अ लोन, वो जिस तरीके से आपने अभी इलुस्ट्रेट किया, इस तरीके का विजन को आगे बढ़ाने के लिए हम सब लोग बहुत उत्सुक हैं। मैं अपनी पर्सनल लेवल से मैं बहुत टच्ड हूँ और मैं कोशिश करूँगा कि मैं इस वैल्यूज़ को एक्सपोज करूँ। थैंक यू।
थैंक यू। इस पूरे प्रोजेक्ट को सुनील लीड करते हैं सर।
अच्छा, वेरी गुड।
होपफुली जब आप वापस, हाँ वही तो, जैसे आप वापस आएंगे तो होपफुली आप मिल पाएंगे लीडरशिप टीम को।
हाँ, जरूर। ठीक है।
और कोई प्रश्न है या कोई कमेंट? सब लोग झिझक रहे हैं कि क्या, कि खाते नहीं है लोगों को? मैं 15 साल से उनके साथ काम कर रहा हूँ। Yes sir, I think because you're not physically here, they can't make out that you're not intimidating. They imagine you to be the more typical intimidating person, so maybe next time when you're here physically that will be beautiful. Thank you very much sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Namaste.
Thank you, sir. Bye.
बंद कर दीजिए वो प्लीज, कशिश। Leave meeting. Any thoughts, emotions?
Was संगम 43. तो आज वो कनेक्ट कर पाया कि what was that संगम, वो कौन सा संगम था. So I'm really very thankful to you. And the second thing is, after a long span, means around 15 years I was with prior organization, और आज 15 years के बाद ऐसा महसूस बिल्कुल नहीं हुआ कि कहीं पे हम जा रहे हैं या किसी जगह पे जा रहे हैं. I'm really very very thankful to you and the highest level of this foundation. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you. तो पिरामिड ग्रुप है, जो नो सुमित वर्ष, मतलब जब पिछले 20 साल से तो हमेशा पिरामिड की यही क्षमता है, अगर आप बिजनेस में भी पढ़ेंगे, कि ये गंगा जमुना इस एग्जाम्पल से नहीं बने हैं. वो उनकी यही सोच है. पिछले 25 साल उन्होंने जो अपना कॉर्पोरेट बिजनेस भी फार्मास्यूटिकल ऐसे ही 15 धीरे धीरे यूज्ड टू कॉल इट स्ट्रिंग ऑफ पर्ल्स. Through this thing, so different people have different capabilities. If you bring together those capabilities, then the necklace as a whole looks more beautiful than the individual pearls. Right? So that is his thing. And so he does not believe. He gave me a half an hour bhashan about 1 week ago. I mean, I worked with him for 15 years still. He said, तुम बहुत घमंडी हो, तुम अपने बारे में तुम्हें लगता है कि तुम्हें ही आंसर सब कुछ आता है, दूसरे लोग आ रहे हैं, उनको ज़्यादा पता है, उनको सुनो, ज़्यादा सुनने की ज़रूरत है. So he gave me full bhashan, even at that time. So he is very keen that the two parts come together and create something more beautiful than either of us has done before. That's very critical. I think on the first few days, I think Sunil or Sridhar, someone in the group was asking, आप ये क्यों कर रहे हैं? Hopefully that becomes clearer now. I mean, he really believes in Ganga Jamuna is to combine to do something greater. So I know he will ask for a monthly review, saying in the monthly review his question will be, how is it better than what they were doing before? How is it better than what you were doing before? How have we created greater value for Bharat? If I don't answer this question, the rest of the detail की health outcomes आएगा, वो उससे कुछ लेना देना नहीं है. So we'll have to figure out how to do that, and that's part of day 3 agenda. Where hopefully we'll sit in subgroups and say what happens when this team sits with the fellowship team. What happens when HSS sits with the PSL team? What happens when ICD sits with the tribal health team? Do we create more value? And I think that's something for day 3 is really critical. वहाँ पे कोई बात करना चाह हाँ जी
थैंक यू, मेरा नाम पाशल। ये इतना दिन से ट्यूबरकुलोसिस कंट्रोल प्रोग्राम या कालाजार या थायराइडिस लेके काम कर रहे हैं, तो कभी कभी जब पेशेंट के साथ मिलते हैं और उसका प्रॉब्लम को लेके हम लोग डिफरेंट जगह पे दौड़-भाग करते हैं। जैसे रिसेंट जो एक्सपीरियंस है थायराइडिस पेशेंट का, तो उस लोग ऐसे ही बेड रिडन, बहुत सारा पेशेंट है जो बेड रिडन है, बहुत प्रॉब्लम भी है, लेकिन इसको इस तरीके से हम लोग इमोशनली अटैच कुछ नहीं कर पा रहे इस लोगों के लिए। तो जब ऑर्गेनाइजेशन का हायर लेवल की इतना चीज़ों को सेवा के हिसाब से देखते हैं और इतना इमोशनली चीज़ को देखते हैं, आउटकम छोड़ के भी, तो ये बहुत अच्छा है हम लोग के लिए भी बाद में कंट्रीब्यूट करने के लिए इस चीज़ के ऊपर। थैंक यू सो मच।
हाँ जी
थर्ड फोर्थ टाइप के डिफरेंस थोड़ा और बताए तो। स्वात्विक एंड वो जो सेवा भवन ट्रस्ट,
सॉरी मैंने दिया
स्वात्विक एंड डिवाइन,
वो उन्हीं से पूछना था मुझे, जो वो गीता क्लास के लिए जाते हैं, मैं नहीं जाता, मैं फील्ड में जाता हूँ।
Can I take a shot at that? ये फाइनली ये तीनों गुण से अतीत होना है, करेक्ट? It is that is the spirit. You can do it either tamasic or rajasic or sattvic, but then each of those are all transient. So you go beyond all three. You get rid of all of that when you sublimate yourself. That is the idea.
You're sharing something on that for me?
Yeah. So if you, I mean, it depends. You probably have read it in the Gita Govinda. So in the Sattvic, you're doing selfless service, but it is self-service. Whereas in the divine, you see the Lord in that person, right? So that you see the Lord in you and the Lord in that person. So there is no difference at all. So I think that transcending that, right? Because even when you're doing Sattvic service, there is a difference between the server and the served, right? And when that distinction falls away, that is the divinity of this.
And the three Hindi names, Tamasic, Rajasic, Sattvic, but behind what's the Hindi of Trigunatita? It's not deep.
It is undefined. Beyond the three gunas.
Beyond the three. Who imagined that at 10:23 we'd be discussing this?
AM.
That was a good one.
People seem to be reflecting on something. हाँ पद्मा।
No, I mean, to hear about Seva and Seva Bhav, I mean, it gives a good feeling. But in order to imbibe those qualities and to get there, I think
Doesn't give a good feeling.
No, we need to.
Let me tell you, because we are evaluated. I just did my PMS. I got very low scores. I'm joking.
I'm
Sorry.
really not looking at the scores and all, but as an individual, I think we need to evolve so much in order to get into that seva form. So, getting inspired by the words, I don't think we will get there. I think we all need some kind of constant training or exposure or discussions of this kind. Might help us to think through and learn, and maybe at least we might execute 1% of it also. I think we can make huge difference. That's what I was.
Very beautifully put. So actually the lady who's sitting just 3 seats away from you, Padma, is a lady called Monal. Yeah. So, and I think she's brought some 15, she asked me on the WhatsApp, should I bring all my material? And she has 1500 pages of material. And she has decoded over the last 15 years that Seva Bhav can be learnt in the same way that maths can be learnt. So it doesn't seem distant. How do you learn maths? You learn maths by first number recognition, then sequencing, then addition of simple 1 digit by 1 digit, then 2 digit by 1 digit, then you do subtraction, then repeated addition becomes multiplication. So if you can break it down into individual skills, see where you are and then move ahead, it doesn't stay like an abstraction. And so we have 4 levels of training which people can go through, whoever wants to, at different levels, right from non-violent communication, active listening, socio-emotional learning, cognitive-based compassion training. So there are different levels of training for those who are interested. Please do spend time when you're in the PSL section with Monal to understand that. So we've tried to decode it.
Oh, I mean, it's good to learn about it, but probably we never had this kind of discussions in our meetings. I don't mean to say care, but in the development sector or wherever we work with organizations, usually the organization culture or organization development is focus on, these things are give employees a kind of opportunity to think through that, this service and then Seva Bhav. I mean, this is the first time actually for me also to hear about these words, though I know that these words exist and what does it mean, but while reflecting that in this 25 years of my work, did I do Seva Bhav or just say? Right? So that's a question to me.
So it's an opportunity for all of us, and it's also, to a certain extent, it's a KRA because he does measure us on this. He says, I do not want to run activities where this is not there. Like at the top level, we bother about this mission statement, but his belief is that if every human being is in service of the person around, only then you can build that. And you have to role model that service. That is the key thing. Because all technical areas, all that is great, but ultimately the human being has to serve those around. And that is the key for him. And this he's been consistent on. I've known him for 20 years. He's not changed on this. Nothing. In fact, he's become even more adamant about it. So yeah. So you'll hear him again and again. He says, actually all those who've heard him before, you'll see there's almost nothing new in his this thing. Right? He always says the same thing. He says, you know what my message is. The only thing that didn't come was the squirrel story.
Yes.
But he has 4 standard stories. He says, why do you even call me? Because you know what my 4 stories are. I will only repeat these things. You know what my values are. There's nothing else. Everything else you can decide. But this I will decide.
Now you have to tell them the squirrel story.
यहाँ से किसी हाँ जी अच्छा खाना खा रहे हैं कि सिचुएशनल गाना
सर सेवा
सर बोलने पे 500 रुपए का फाइन लगता है आप चुन लीजिए कि आपको देना है कि नहीं
सॉरी सिर्फ एक्चुअली क्या है कि हम सभी लोग काफ़ी दिनों से गवर्नमेंट के साथ काम करते हैं। जब हम इस फील्ड में आते हैं तब सेवा भाव से ही आते हैं, लेकिन एक लॉन्ग एसोसिएशन जो गवर्नमेंट के साथ रहता है, फिर हमारा भी मेंटल स्टेटस वैसे ही हो जाता है कि एक ड्यूटी के रूप में फिर भी हम उनसे थोड़े से अलग दिखने की कोशिश करते हैं। अलग होते हैं या नहीं ये हमें पता नहीं होता, लेकिन आज जैसा आप बता रहे थे, फिर पिरामल से बता रहे थे, उससे क्या होता है कि आपके अंदर जो सेवा भाव से आप आए थे इस फील्ड में काम करने के लिए, सोशल डेवलपमेंट सेक्टर में काम करने के लिए आए थे, वो कहीं ना कहीं तो छुप जाता है, तो फिर वापस आने लगता है कि अरे हम जिस काम के लिए आए थे वो भूल गए। और सरकार के साथ मिल करके सिर्फ हम इंडिकेटर डेवलपमेंट की बात कर रहे हैं, अपनी ड्यूटी और रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी को निभाने की बात करें कि आज जाना था हमें पीएससी पे, इतना लोगों को इंगेज करके ये बात बतानी थी, ये ओरिएंटेशन करना था, ये काम हमारा हो गया, हमने इतना लोगों को ओरिएंट कर दिया, हमने इतना एमओआईसीस को, एएनएम्स को, आंगनबाड़ी वर्कर को, जिसके साथ भी काम कर रहे हैं, ओरिएंटेशन किया, अपने ड्यूटी किया, हमको लगा कि हमने ये बात बता दी, हमको फीडबैक फॉलोअप चलता रहता है, लेकिन हम सरकार के पैटर्न पे ही फॉलोअप करते रहते हैं। लेकिन आज के बाद ऐसा लग रहा है कि हम लोगों में कुछ ना कुछ बदलाव तो आएगा। एक कबीरदास का दोहा था कि कबीरा संगति साधु की, ज्यों गंती को बास, जो कुछ गंती दे नहीं तो अभी बास सुबास। तो मुझे लगता है कि ये बदलाव सर हमें जरूर नए दिशा की ओर ले जाएगा। थैंक यू।
कितने लोगों के पास पेन है? हाँ, ज़्यादातर लोगों के पास है। फिर ये छोटा सा एक्सरसाइज हम ट्राई करते हैं। हर एक रो में एक पैड दे दीजिएगा, उस साइड पे भी अक्षर थोड़ा मदद करके हर एक रो को एक पैड दे दीजिएगा। एक पेपर हर एक जन ले लीजिएगा। एक छोटा सा एक्सरसाइज करते हैं, इसको थोड़ा टू मेक इट मोर इन द हैंड्स, दिस कॉन्सेप्ट। Paper को vertically just make it into 3 parts. Vertically. Actually 4 parts. But easier. Fold it into half. And fold it into half again. Yeah. Fold it into half and then half again. And just tear one strip carefully. Just make sure that you tear it nicely. You need only 1/4 of this as a long strip. यहाँ आपके पास एक ऐसा strip, या एक ही strip चाहिए, बाकी आपने काट दिया ना। इस strip के एक साइड पे जो कलम है आपके पास, उस कलम के साथ, हाँ, एक ही कलम के साथ इस स्ट्रिप के बीच में से from top to bottom just draw a line. You see this line? Just from top to bottom, right in the middle, just draw a line with whatever color pen you currently have. It doesn't have to be perfectly straight, it's okay. Okay? And borrow a pen from someone else which is of a different color. Ideally, if this is blue, take black. If black, take red. Or if it's a pencil, something else. Black or pencil. You have another color, ideally. और एटलीस्ट डिफरेंट टाइप ऑफ पेन so you can make out the different। हाँ, और उसके साथ दूसरे साइड पे वैसे ही लाइन काटिएगा। हाँ, इनको आप डैश डैश वाला लगाइए, डैश डैश, नॉट अ फुल लाइन बट जस्ट डैश 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 डैश, लाइन लाइक दैट, डैश 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 डैश, yeah, on the opposite side, yeah, so one side is a straight line, one side is dash 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 and becomes a straight line, yeah. One line is dotted line and the other side is a full line. Dotted line and full line. दोनों मिल गए? हाँ. Yeah. Okay. Now you can make a teenage girls ने बनाते हैं. What is this thing called? Friendship bracelet. Friendship bracelet. हाँ. Friendship bracelet. Yeah.
Which one is on top? The dotted or the other?
Whichever one you want. Whichever. So make the bold line on the outside. Okay, and can you see the bold line? Just follow the bold line with your finger. Follow. It comes back. Yeah, and follow. It goes in again in third round, infinite loop.
Right.
Yeah. Now hold this like this. You're holding the part together with just one hand. Yeah. And do one thing important. Pick it up, turn it round and attach it again. Turn it round and attach it. हाँ, नहीं, It has to continue to be like a circle. See, it was like this. Yeah, just turn it and attach it. That's all. That's it. See, some people have got it right next to you. Just help. Yeah, that one is right. That one's right. That one's right. Yeah. Yes, you got it. Sabko mil gaya? Just help. You got it. Yeah, you got it. Yeah. Most people have got it. Most people have got it?
Yes.
Okay. Now follow the hard line. Follow the hard line. Hard line, follow it with your finger, follow it, follow it, follow it, follow it. What happens to it? It becomes a dotted line. Now follow the dotted line, 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 dotted line. What happens? Follow the hard line. Hard line, 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 hard line. Dotted. It's also still an infinite loop. So this is the symbol of the Gandhi Fellowship, which you see over there as green. It's called the Mobius strip. And the idea is that the more you work on the outside world, after a point you have to stop and you have to work on your inside world. And then when you work on your inside world, you become more capable to serve the outside world. And as you serve the outside world, it gives you a message as to what is the work you have to do on your inside world, and this is an infinite that you work on. तो ऐसा नहीं है कि हम बोल रहे हैं कि सब कुछ दुनिया छोड़ दो और हिमालय में जाके बैठ जाओ, बिकॉज यू हैव टू वर्क ऑन द आउटसाइड वर्ल्ड. अच्छा, जो आप बता रहे थे कि हम जाके सरकार से काम कर रहे हैं, वो करना ही पड़ेगा, क्योंकि दुखी हो गए हम बोले कि इसका कुछ मतलब नहीं है, भाग गए, तो फिर ये संस्था आपके लिए सही नहीं है. बट अगर आप बोल रहे हैं कि नहीं, हमें सिर्फ आउटसाइड वर्ल्ड पे काम करना है और इनसाइड पे नहीं काम करना है, तो फिर भी ये संस्था आपकी नहीं है. Neither for just the inside world, not for just the outside world. If you enjoy this process of doing the outside world, you have a judgment towards that government officer. There is internal work to do to have compassion for where she's coming from and why she's making the choices that she's making. That is the internal work I have to do. Then I go back and I meet the same government officer again. Now I hear her story and I see why she's making the choices, but morally I still don't think it's right. I have to go back again and work on my internal self of greater compassion. Then I have to again, after I do that, again I have to go back and sit with her and listen to her, and she will change. Are you willing to do that work? Because as soon as you're non-judgmental and you have compassion, the world around you starts changing. इस देश में कितने सारे संत हैं, तो कुछ बोले बिना वहीं पे बैठते हैं, तो मुझे लगता है कि मुझे कुछ और करना चाहिए जो मैं पहले नहीं कर रहा था. बोले भी नहीं, क्योंकि उनकी जो वाइब्रेशन है वही वाइब्रेशन है कि नहीं, I want to take a better decision, I want to be a better version of myself. And that is the expectation from the leadership here. I'm not a great role model of it, but that is the expectation. Right? So I just want to combine the outside and the inside world in this. Did this help?
Yes.
Yeah. So he knows we are doing the outside work. Let me assure you that if you are only doing this internal work, you'll say, "मैं तो पगार क्यों दे रहा हूँ?" Right? You have to do some work. You have to be useful for the world outside. If you're only doing that, he knows that we're all over-focused on the outside. इससे वो बदलेगा नहीं जब तक आप अंदर की आत्मा को परखेंगे नहीं. अच्छा, sorry.
Yeah. Thank you. Any questions or emotions this is provokes? So Mobius strip. When we mention the Mobius strip, hopefully it causes a particular set of emotions and a particular set of actions it provokes in you. So the outside training most of us have. Padma, this is coming because of something you provoked in my thinking. The outside training we all have. The inside training, many of us do in our personal lives. I'm suspecting that 80% of us, Hindu, Muslim, Islam, Sikh, every religion, we all do something in our personal life. How do those two combine? Right? We all do. I can assure you, we all come from families which are very deeply know that you have to be a good human being, not just successful. Otherwise you wouldn't be in this work. So combining these two, and if you're comfortable more and more inside the organization talking about it, it becomes possible for Padma to speak to Nilima to speak to Khushbu about not just the outside world, but what is happening in the inside world. And so for us, we use two words, seva and sangha, because each of us, we don't have any guru or anything. It is the sangha of the five of us. If I am able to help Prabhas, Saurabh is able to help me, and then Prabhas is able to help Saurabh. We help each other on the inner world journey and on the outer world journey. And that's the commitment to each other, to helping each other evolve. And so therefore it's my commitment to Saurabh when he joins the group that I will help him evolve, and it's his commitment to me that when I'm doing something wrong which is not good for the inner world and therefore will not be good for the outer world, he has a commitment to tell me that. It's not as part of a feedback process or whatever. He's part of my Sangha, he has to help me grow. It doesn't matter whether Saurabh is senior to me, junior to me, more experience, less experience, nothing matters. But in this journey to grow and to impact. The outside journey is impact, the inside journey is personal. That's it. हाँ जी अचानक से मेरे को एक प्रश्न आया
थोड़ी देर से सोच रहा था
हाँ जी
तो बात कर रहे थे कि इस तरीके का मैं किसी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में रहा हूँ या जो लोगों के साथ इंटरेक्ट किया हो उस कल्चर में ऐसा सब बातें तो नहीं हुआ और अभी यहाँ पे अब ये सब बातें हो रही है और आप लोग सभी ऑलरेडी इस तरीके का एनवायरनमेंट में है, इस कल्चर में है, तो क्या डिफरेंस होता होगा ये मैं सोच तो उस कॉन्टेक्स्ट से मैं एक सवाल या एक मेरा मन में जो आया वो बात मैं बोलना चाहता हूँ कि हम लोग जनरली शुरू से मेरा करियर का शुरू से भी मैं देख रहा हूँ कि मेरे आसपास के लोग, मेरे पीयर्स हो, मेरे सीनियर्स हो, जूनियर्स हो, सभी में एक कॉम्पिटिटिवनेस, क्रेडिट सीकिंग बिहेवियर्स बहुत ज़्यादा होते हैं और वो उससे नेगेटिव भी होता है, बहुत ज़्यादा नेगेटिविटी पैदा होता है, उससे टीम्स के बीच में आपस में भिड़ जाते हैं और इंडिविजुअल्स अपने आप को बहुत ज़्यादा क्या बोलते हैं अपना वर्चस्व बढ़ाने के लिए वो क्या बिहार का एक वर्ड है भोकाल मचा देते हैं, तो ये सब बहुत होता है और वो सबको कंट्रोल करने के लिए जो अभी तक मैंने जो एज ए लाइक प्रोग्राम मैनेजर्स या लीडर्स जो भी है इसको डिस्करेज करते आ रहे थे बट कभी वो रुका नहीं, वो अभी भी है जिस एनवायरनमेंट में मैं करता हूँ और मैं भी वो शायद मेरे पीयर्स के बीच में मैं वो कॉम्पिटिटिवनेस ये सब चलता रहता है। सो ये जो सेवा भाव एंड देन संघ का ये एस्पेक्ट्स ये सभी एम्फसाइज करते हुए कल्चर अगर क्रिएट करते हैं तो क्या ये नहीं रहेगा आटे जड़ के लेवल पे ही इसको काट दिया जाएगा बिकॉज किसी के मन में ऐसा रहेगा ही नहीं, ऐसा मेरा मन में आ रहा है। इज दैट हाउ इट वर्क्स? अगर ऐसा होता है तो बहुत अच्छा रहेगा सो दैट बहुत सारा नेगेटिविटी कहीं रहेगा ही नहीं और ये डील करने की ज़रूरत नहीं है कि इनके आपस में जो है इसको डील करने का किसी को ज़रूरत नहीं रहेगा, बहुत सिंपल स्मूथ सेल जैसा चल सकता है, ये पॉजिटिव रहेगा ऐसा।
Yeah, very good. But we're all, it's like that decentralization. 15 साल उसके लिए भी लगने वाला है और इंटरनल वर्क के लिए 60 साल लगने वाला है। डिसेंट्रलाइजेशन भी हो जाएगा, डिसेंट्रलाइजेशन। But this inner work is a perpetual work. So, but if we do it, I agree with you. The culture changes, no? अगर आपको याद है पहले कॉल में भी मैंने यही बोला था कि गंगा जमुना के this thing में I feel this is the one thing which will not change. Unfortunately, this is the one thing on which it's not कि आपकी एक राय है मेरी एक राय है, क्योंकि ये राय तो ऊपर चल रही है, ये इनके लिए फ्लेक्सिबल नहीं है। बाकी बहुत सारी चीज़ें थी जो लॉयर ने बताया कि ये मत करो क्योंकि ये प्रॉब्लम हो जाएगा, वो सब उन्होंने सब सुने लॉयर को और फिर बोले कि नहीं करना है। फिर जब मैंने रिस्क बताया कि ये नहीं करने चाहिए, ये हो सकता है, ये हो सकता है, सब वो सुने, लेकिन एक ही चीज़ बोले, एक में जो मैं फ्लेक्सिबल नहीं हूँ वो ये सेवा भाव है, बाकी सब आप डिसाइड कर लो फ्लेक्सिबल। सो एंड वो एक दिशा है। तो मैं नहीं बोलूँगा कि हमारी टीम में आप मत अपेक्षा कीजिए कि हम कुछ भी आगे हैं इसमें, बिल्कुल नहीं, क्योंकि दिशा है इसलिए आपको सोचना भी नहीं चाहिए कि कोई आगे है, क्योंकि हम सब पर्सनल प्रैक्टिस में बहुत सारे लोग अपने घर में आप अपनी मम्मी के वजह से अपनी दादी माँ या अपनी नानी की वजह से आप कुछ सीखेंगे, बस उसको बाहर हम यहाँ पे प्रोटेक्ट करने के लिए हम झिझक नहीं रहेंगे। तो प्लीज डू नॉट इमेजिन दैट the older employees have any greater competence in this than the newer employees. You will find more government. It is equally possible. Right? So don't expect it. We are just saying this is the journey. Just like the mission statement, this is a journey. And we are not helping each other. गांधी जी ने बोला था ना, एक स्टेटमेंट हम जोक करते हैं, I have more humility than you. I have more humility than you also, do you know that? I am the most humble. हाँ जी, माइक ले लीजिएगा।
हेलो, तो मैं 7 साल से संस्था में हूँ, 2 साल केयर में और 14 साल प्लान इंटरनेशनल में बिताए। एकेडमिशियन हूँ। 7 साल संस्था में इसी वजह से रुक पाई सुनील बाबू, क्योंकि ये बात मुझे यहाँ पे अनुभूति होती है इसकी। और इंटरनेशनल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन छोड़ के आना आसान नहीं था, टेकट था। आगे से कई बार उसको ऐसे बड़ा गौरवान्वित करके उदाहरण भी देते, पर मुझे लगता है मैंने पूरे स्वार्थ से ये संस्था ज्वाइन की थी, क्योंकि ये वैल्यूज़ जो थी, जो बहुत मुझे लगा था कि इनके साथ ही मैं जी पाऊँगी, क्योंकि मुझे ये लगता है जिस सेक्टर में मैं काम कर रही हूँ वहाँ पर मुझे अगर अपने पीठ के पीछे मुड़ के देखना पड़ता है कि क्रेडिट देना पड़ेगा या लेना पड़ेगा, तकलीफ होगी। दे तो सकती हूँ, लेने में बहुत तकलीफ होगी क्योंकि अपब्रिंगिंग वैसी है। तो मैं आगे वाउच करना चाहती हूँ कि ये स्पेस में मुझे मेरे जैसे लोग मिले हैं, पुराने साथियों, और उसके काफिर उसी की वजह से मैं यहाँ पर इतने समय से हूँ। तो सेल्फ पे काम करने के लिए स्वार्थी तरीके से मैं करना चाहती हूँ, इसलिए संस्था में इम्पैक्ट करने का भी मजा आता है। I just wanted to share that. Thank you so much for creating that space. Thank you.
हाँ जी, रम्या, माइक दे दीजिएगा प्लीज सर।
I just wanted to respond to Sunil, and I also wanted to make another general statement. I'll start with the general statement first. For a lot of you, this will probably be the first time you're working in an Indian leader-led corporate foundation. I come to the social sector very late, unlike you. I've not even finished 2 years with the foundation. But I can assure each one of you that I have worked with a lot of Indian industrialists and leaders, because I've had close to over 25 years of experience in working with them. I just wanted to assure you that Mr. Piramal is truly different from a lot of the industrial leaders that you would have seen or read about. I just wanted to share that general observation. And he, as Aditya said, imbues the foundation with this non-negotiable demand for Seva Bhav, right? Everything else is negotiable. Seva Bhav is not, right? And that is very, very different. So there are corporate foundations and there are corporate foundations. This insistence on Seva Bhav is what makes it different. His personal insistence. So I just wanted to share. Because when you don't know a lot of people, you think this is the norm. I just wanted to assure you this is not the norm. The second point I just wanted to add to Sunil's specific point. We have our share of egos, fights, turf wars, all of that, right? So I don't think human beings change so much. But the organization creates the room for you to not be like that. And when people, so there is one point I wanted to say, that this foundation therefore places a huge emphasis on behavior, right? So it doesn't matter whether I am humble or not. How does Sunil experience me? Because if your experience of me is not that of a humble person, then what I say of myself is irrelevant. So the emphasis on behavior and how you are experienced is what informs success or lack of it. So I just wanted to share.
I want to convert that into a very concrete example. हमारे एक साथी थे मिलिंद नाम के, जिन्होंने हमें पूरा ये सिखाया। पिरामल जी तो कॉन्सेप्ट लेवल पे रह गए, मिलिंद जी तो टाटाज में काम करते थे बहुत सालों से और होटल्स में काम करते थे। तो आई थिंक आई शेयर दिस विद सम ऑफ यू, बट आई वांट टू शेयर इट विद ऑल ऑफ यू। होटल के दरवान, टाटाज होटल का जो दरवान होता है, उसका एसओपी क्या है? दरवाजा खोलो, जब मेहमान कोई आता है उसका लगेज ले लो, दरवाजा खोलो। उससे ज़्यादा कितना एसओपी आप लिख सकते हो उसके बारे में? उतना ही है। पर इतना कॉम्प्लिकेटेड एसओपी कितना लिखोगे? तो बैग गिर गया तो उसको उठा लो मे बी, बट एसओपी इतना कॉम्प्लिकेटेड नहीं है। तो बोले वो तो एक्स एक्सिस डिमेंशन है कि काम करना क्या है, लेकिन टाटाज में उसके ऊपर ध्यान नहीं देते हैं, वाई एक्सिस पे ध्यान देते हैं कि जब मेहमान आते हैं तो उनको क्या भावना फील होनी चाहिए। ही शुड फील वेलकम इनटू द होटल। उसके लिए आप एसओपी लिख के मुझे बताइए, हाउ डू यू मेक द अदर पर्सन फील वेलकम। ऐसे मैं ऐसे बोल सकता हूँ नमस्कार सर दिस दैट, बट द फीलिंग ऑफ वेलकम हैज टू कम राइट फ्रॉम दैट पर्सन। So SOP is open the door, but the feeling you want to cause is of welcome. And he said that y-axis is the differentiator between a normal hotel and the Tata hotel. And he spent his whole life, he said, I still remember he told me he started 4 different hotels in tribal regions, right? Madhya Pradesh has 4 exotic hotels inside the parks. And he worked with them, and they have a different view of how welcome is versus how their guests believe should be welcome. So whose version of welcome? I am expressing welcome like this, but you want to feel welcome like this. So what is more important? Am I more important or are you more important? And am I able to tune into what you need so that you feel welcome, you feel joy, you feel served? That is what is critical. The other example I find very easy is विस्तारा और इंडिगो में फर्क है? कुछ तो फर्क है। क्या फर्क है? एसओपी तो वही है, बॉम्बे से दिल्ली लेके जाओ, दिल्ली से बॉम्बे वापस लेके आओ, टाइम पे लेके आओ। फर्क क्या है?
फेयर डिफरेंस।
क्यों फेयर डिफरेंस क्यों है?
वो भी नहीं है अभी।
हाँ, फेयर डिफरेंस 1000 रुपीज का क्यों है? क्यों है? क्वालिटी ऑफ सर्विस क्या है वो सर्विस में? हाँ, फूड, एम्बियंस। What is your experience when you come out of Vistara? What do you feel when you come out of Indigo? What do you feel? What is one bhavna which they are trying to create inside you? Serve. In which one? In Vistara. Indigo?
Business. Commodity. You're a commodity. You're very efficient.
Efficient. Right? You're efficient. But that's what I promised you कि साला बॉम्बे से दिल्ली में लेके आऊँगा। तुम्हें और क्या चाहिए? तुम्हें और कुछ चाहिए तो दूसरे एयरलाइन में चले जाइए। So I think these 2 examples are examples just to help you understand the वही same x-axis. X-axis से outcome वही है. Y-axis का outcome is different. Right? So you can be very good at the x-axis, but what is the y-axis? And that I think is a key differentiator. That thought, yes, Kiran.
Again, responding to Sunil, thanks for opening that up. So, Sunil, thanks for being vulnerable. I think, just addressing the elephant in the room of competition. I think that's so prevalent, and we get a lot of that, and I don't blame any of us. We just come from a system. I work with fellows. Everybody is competitive. Everybody wants to prove we are the best, we are first, and that's the system that we have been trained in.
CBSE.
Our school does that, our college does that, our family systems do that. So it's but natural, we are competitive. Piramal Foundation is also competitive, but the competition is with self. I'm happy to be part of the organization where there is space for all kinds of personalities, and there is space for everybody to exist as they are, how they are. But the competition here is with self. Comparison is with Fiona in 2021 versus Fiona in 22, 23. I think that's the competition at least that I have experienced. So I think that's the inner work that I relate to when I do it. That's it.
Yes, sir.
In this discussion which Dr. Sunil opened up, I want to share something very personal. Since when I started working with the development sector, always used to get disturbed by the type of competition that you are mentioning, because my job is to deal with methodologies, and unfortunately there are methodological hierarchies. Unfortunately there are you are right or I am right kind of absolute point of deterministic no return. What helped me so far is whenever that kind of discussion happened, that your measure of impact is 3.5, my measure of impact is 0.7, how they are in different directions and talking about different stories. What helped us that every time in this kind of situation we discussed that we met because somebody's daughter is dying. The electric bill that is being paid for my laptop's charge, where all these odds ratios or whatever is coming, that is actually being paid because somebody's daughter is not going to school. Unless these tragedies are there, we probably didn't meet. And if we value the cause, probably the competitions will become bleak.
Absolutely. Thank you. Beautiful. Now you have a last comment. Chai is waiting for us, but I want to hear you as well.
No, I didn't want to make a last comment, but just a couple of things. One is, I'm afraid a lot of words have been spoken, and that does not change too much, and it probably is not advisable to have so many words spoken so soon. Because welcome and feeling welcome, it's an affect. You feel it in the room. Right now, the feeling in the room is not that. It's a mixed kind of a feeling. This is something really new to us. We really don't know whether we will stand up to it, and we really don't know how we will, because when we are speaking of Sangam, we are dissolving into you, and we are apprehensive about that. And we are not, and we have jumped too early to this. Secondly, I think also because the seva and seva bhav, all of us are kind of afraid. We are thinking of our previous bosses, our previous this. Luckily, I was here, very lucky to have a boss who understood me or adjusted with me. But I've had terrible bosses before. Now, how do I feel any kind of seva towards him or towards terrible supervisees? How do we adjust to the normal realities of life within this? So all those are probably questions with a lot of us, and things will evolve, but I just wanted to say these things. Thanks.
Very good. Thank you for stating that. And I think what we were struggling with, even during breakfast, we were discussing how do you make people feel welcome, but also tell the candid truth about expectations, right? And we are constantly balancing. So some things are flexible and some things are not. And so we are also struggling. I apologize if we are not making you feel welcome, but I want to also be candid, because I know this is beyond my control. Anything else I can control. This I know is beyond my control. So it's better. I felt it was more candid to just put it out there and say, boss, ho gaya. Abhi ye ho gaya, abhi baaki sab masti kar sakte hain. But this is beyond my pay grade. Everything else is controllable. So great, let's have a conversation over chai, and then we'll connect back in about 20 minutes. The groups will be put up here. So once you finish with chai, just if you can put up the groups, please go to wherever your group, there's a group number, I think it's also sent in the WhatsApp for various groups. You can just go to that particular section and we'll start at about 11:20. Yeah? Thank you.